Good day, my dear future civil servants. Welcome back to Decode UPSC Current Affairs. Today, we are not just simply going to read some newspaper articles, but remember, a UPSC aspirant does not read current affairs like a newspaper reader. UPSC aspirant reads every news item and asks, what can UPSC ask from this aspect? Today we have few important topics with few MCQs and one mains question. So let me keep your mind active throughout the class. Be very attentive. So no just passive listening. Whenever we put some questions, whenever there is a question from this aspect, so let's be focused, think and try to answer the questions okay within yourself. Let's continue the class. We'll see cabinet approves rupees 13041 crore rail and highway project. So the first news is about infrastructure. The first news is about infrastructure. Okay, so Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs or CCEA, which is chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, has approved infrastructure projects worth 13041 crores. So now, whenever you see a large infrastructure projects, don't just get lost by the amount. Don't just be focused to remember the amount. Just see which body is approving the project and whatever the states are covering the project, what is the financing model. So what is the financing model with respect to this, so which corridor is involved in the project. So these are the primary questions which we have to pose for ourselves, because those questions will be replicated in the examination, okay, rather than the project cost. So because the project cost keeps up and down, isn't it, it's not always the static, and the project doesn't end with the same budget that it has been laid. Sometimes, most of the times the budget can be increased. Here remember the key word CCEA. Okay, so four railway multi-tracking projects, one major highway project are involved. The railway projects cover West Bengal, Odisha, Tamil Nadu as well as Andhra Pradesh, and the other project is in Bihar. And the other project is in Bihar. Now comes a very important prelims term HAM, which is hybrid annuity model. So which is hybrid annuity model. So another important point is that the highway project links towards India Nepal border. India, it links India as well as Nepal border via East-West corridor. So East-West corridor, which is National Highway 27, which is National Highway 27. So revise these four words together. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Okay, so hybrid annuity model and H27 as well as regional connectivity. So this is about the massive project of 13041 crores. Okay, key railway project lines here included are Karakpur Bardak 173 kilometers, Badrak as well as Hardaspur 75 kilometers, Gumidipindi, Gudur 90 kilometers, Cuttack and Paradip 72 kilometers. So this is all the project is about. Okay. So next coming to we have another topic. We will be moving to polity plus economy concept. So our honorable president Draupadi Murmu gave assent to Taxation and Other Laws Act. Taxation and Other Laws Act. Taxation as well as Other Laws Act 2026. So, along with an amendment related to Payments and Settlement Systems Act 2007. So now remember this key act, PSS Act, which was formed in 2007. So this is very straightforward prelims fact. The taxation amendment replaces Income Tax Ordinance 2026. It replaces the Income Tax Ordinance 2026. Another important point, the exemption discussed here relates to foreign institutional investors. Okay, here it discusses about foreign institutional investors and bank for international settlements. Bank for international settlements. So if UPSC gives you a statement saying the exemption is only related to listed equity shares, be careful. The presentation specifically connects with the interest and capital gains from government securities. Okay, so my advice is that never remember current affairs only as headlines. So remember the institutions, remember the law, remember the year, remember the purpose. So now the act was PSS Act 2007, and again, so exempted bodies are foreign institution investments as well as bank for international settlements. It replaces IT Ordinance 2026. So its goal actually is foreign capital plus digital payments reform. The goal is to have foreign capital as well as digital payment reforms. Okay, so is it clear? Is it clear? So be very attentive and be focused. Okay, clear. So now moving forward, we have another topic which is from environment. UPSC loves those species in news always. Every year, every paper, we can see one species asking about one or the other species. So species we should never neglect. Okay, we should find various techniques to remember these always. Okay, a new Himalayan balsam species. A new Himalayan balsam species which is named as impetens impetens nimspurgi. So named after mountaineer Nirmal Purja. So named after mountaineer Nirmal Purja. So and why it is here interesting is that because it is named after Nepali mountaineer Nirmal Nimsdai Purja. So now don't just remember the name, remember the scientific name. Remember the scientific name. So genus is impotens. Okay. So family is Balsaminaceae. So family is Balsaminaceae. The new species discovered belongs to genus Impetens, belongs to family Balsaminaceae. So it was discovered in Myagdi district, Nepal. It was discovered in Magdi district, Nepal. And another possible prelims trap here is that it grows and at around 2800 to 2900 meters altitude. It grows around 2800 to 2900 meters altitude. Okay, so if the statement says it was found above, so 4500 meters, 4500 meters, if there was a question in your examination which states, which gives you the that it was found around such a high altitude, just straightforwardly you can reject it. Okay, straightforwardly you can reject it because you are prior aware of the altitude ranges of this new species 2800 to 2900. Also the species was described in the peer reviewed journal PLOS1 plus 1. So it's actually discussed in a peer reviewed newspaper also plus 1. Okay, a species grows on humid slopes, forest margins at 2800 to 2900 meters altitude and belongs to family Balsaminaceae. Locally, it is called as theory. The questions can be formed using theory also. So, theory which was recently discovered in which of the following regions, in which of the following biodiversity hotspots. They can ask you such kind of questions. And theory is named scientifically as Impetens nimsporingi. It is named after which of the following mountaineer. Okay, clear? Is it okay? So this is something which is more has a factual data, and most of the times factual data we have to revise again and again. Next, moving forward, so now let us come to international relations. India and Nepal have a very special military tradition. So we have a very special military tradition. So this tradition began way back in the year 1950. It's not recent past but from 1950s. General Dheeraj Seth, General Dheeraj Seth, the Indian Chief of Army Staff, visited Nepal and he was conferred with honorary rank of General of Nepali Army. So General of Nepali Army. So but here is the important concept. This is a part of tradition of reciprocal honorary ranks between the India as well as Nepali armies. But according to the tradition, which dates back to 1950, so now this is a classic UPSC question. India and Nepal have strong defense cooperation. So, which unique tradition reflects this special relationship? So, answering would be reciprocal honorary ranks between the army chiefs. So, remember 1950 reciprocal honorary military ranks, India and Nepal. So, current affairs connected with international relations and historical continuity. So, this is something UPSC friendly combination, isn't it? India as well as Nepal. So, when you where it happened is Rashtrapati Bhavan, Seetal Novas, Kathmandu. So, it laid by Wreath again was laid by Army Pavilion Tundikal, Army Pavilion Tundikal. So General Seth was conferred the honorary rank of General of Nepal Army by President Ramachandra Paudel. The tradition of reciprocal honorary ranks between the two armies date back to 1950. Okay, is it clear? So any doubts from this aspect? So next again, so moving forward, we will discuss another important topic which is in the news is that let me give you a small conceptual question with respect to RBI's approval for LIC and HDFC Bank. If RBI gives approval to LIC to increase its stake in HDFC Bank, does that mean LIC stake? Does that mean that LIC stake has already increased? No. So this is the key distinction. The thing here is that RBI has approved LIC to acquire an aggregate holding up to 9.99%. So up to 9.99%. Okay. But approval is not the same as an immediate acquisition. Approval is not same as that of immediate acquisition. As that I mentioned in the presentation, okay, so LIC held 4.11%. Okay, the current stake is 4.11%. And again, approved ceiling is 9.99%. And any acquisition remains subject to various regulations. So, like including Banking Regulation Act. Okay, so 1949, RBI directions. Okay, next again, FEMA 1999 and CB norms. It does not mean an immediate stake increase. So remember this UPSC lesson. Approval doesn't mean actual acquisition. This is exactly the kind of conceptual trap UPSC wanted us to be put in. So also revise the Competition Commission of India, which is established in 2003 under Competition Act 2002. So students, whenever you see RBI, CCI, SEBI or FEMA in the news, so always revise the basic law behind the institution. So we need to remember the basic laws behind the institution. Okay, and again separately, CCI cleared Prudential Corporation Holdings proposed 75% stake buy in Bharti Life Insurance and Tata Steel additional 23% stake in TM International Logistics. Okay, so this is about the economy topic which is in news. Okay, next moving forward, so we will talk about another important economy concept, India ratings and research, also known as also known as INDRA, so has raised India's financial year 27 India's financial year 27 GDP forecast to 6.8%, which earlier was 6.7%. So, citing its lower crude oil prices. And why? One main reason mentioned is lower crude oil prices. Now, remember the parent organization INRA is a Fitch Group subsidiary. This is a classic one liner question. So, this can be a classic, straightforward one line question. Here, the presentation also highlights some risk. West Asia conflict, okay? So, there is a West Asia conflict, depreciating currency, okay, weaker capital expenditure, widening current account deficit, estimated at 1.5 percentage of GDP in financial year 27, in the financial year 27. So Ind Parent is a fitted group, revised GDP 6.8 percentage, fiscal deficit target of 4.3 percentage of GDP, and again, CAD estimate 1.5, current account deficit estimate 1.5 percentage of GDP financial year 27. So this is about Indira raises India's financial year 2027 GDP forecast to 6.8 percentage. Okay. So don't only remember the optimistic forecast. UPSC often ask about the risk and underlying economic indicators. So these are the risk involved. This is the favorite part of UPSC. My revision formula would be 6.8 percentage GDP growth, 10.4 percentage nominal GDP growth, okay, 10.4 percentage nominal GDP growth, 1.5 current account deficit as percentage of GDP. So numbers become easier when you connect with them in with their meanings. Okay, so we need to connect the numbers with their meaning. Okay, so now moving forward, now we move to science, technology, and defense part. So, one of the most strategic news items today is the partnership involving Reliance Industries Limited, Reliance Industries Limited, and Reliance Industries Limited, as well as Rolls Royals. So, Rolls Royals for India's AMCA fighter engine. AMCA fighter engine. So, what is AMCA? Is Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft. Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft. It is the India's proposed fifth generation. It is India's proposed fifth generation stealth multi-role fighter. So now, who manages the program? Aeronautical Development Agency. Who manages the program? Aeronautical Development Agency is managing the program, or which is commonly called ADA. And ADA functions under Ministry of Defense. It functions under Ministry of Defense. So remember the chain. The larger objective is indigenous capability in advanced aerospace propulsion. And students, the phrase you should note is that sovereign as well as indigenous combat engine. This shows India's focus on technological self-reliance in strategic sector. Clear? This shows that India's are focused on technological self-reliance in strategic sector. The partners will explore dedicated aerospace gas turbine complex in India as a center of excellence for power and propulsion technology. ACMA is India's fifth generation stealth multi-role fighter for a Indian Air Force, which features Super Cruise, AI assisted avionics. The program is managed by Aeronautical Development Agency under the Ministry of Defense. So, is the topic clear? Is the topic clear? So, next again, we will be discussing another important topic which is in the news, which comes from the development in agriculture technology. A Hyderabad-based Hyderabad-based deep tech startup, Akin Analytics launched an Nika A2, Nika 2 Kisan medium drone. So now let us do a memory challenge. So spraying payload, let us pause. It is 16 liters. Spreading payload 12 liters. And very important distinctions, don't interchange them. The drone has terrain following capability, fail safe systems, and night operation capability. Night operation capability. Okay, clear? The drone offers 16 liter spraying payload, 12 liter spraying payload, with terrain following capability, fail safe systems, and night operation capability. Night operation capability. The larger vision mentioned here is that Make in India, Go Global. So, this is an excellent example of how your PSC can connect current affairs development with the theme as indigenization, agriculture technology, startups, and manufacturing. Okay, the key terms let us remember is that it's a startup Akil Analytics from Hyderabad, spraying payloads 16 liters, spreading payloads 12 liters, vision tagline Make in India, Go Global. Okay, clear? Is it okay? So, this is the massive projects innovation coming from Hyderabad. Next, moving forward, so let us discuss the significance of 20th August. It is celebrated as World's Mosquito Day. World's Mosquito Day. So, but UPSC will not stop at the date, isn't it? Will just ask you, will UPSC just ask you, so what is August 20th celebrated as? Okay, so it may ask, why is this day observed? Okay, so more than the observation of day, it just remembers why the day is observed. Okay, it actually commemorates Sir Ronald Ross discovery, which is related to malaria's transmission. The key vector studied was female anopheles mosquito, so which actually leads to transmission of malaria. And here comes an important, very important India connection. The discovery mentioned in the presentation was made in Secunderabad, Hyderabad. Okay, Ross discovered malaria parasites in the stomach of female Anopheles mosquito in Secunderabad, Telangana on 20th August 1897. His findings were published in the British Medical Journal in December 1897. Okay, so here it is linked to our country, specifically to Hyderabad. So later in 1902, Ronald Rose received Nobel Peace Prize in Physiology or Medicine. So remember the sequence: 20th August, World Mosquito Day; 1897, discovery at Secunderabad, which was presented at Secunderabad. Okay, in female Anopheles mosquito, where the vector was studied. 1902, Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, so this is perfect prelims revision chain for the day to be remembered. Okay, so and now we have few important MCQs. So with reference to impedance names Purinji plant species recently in news, consider the following statements. It belongs to the family Balsaminaceae. It was discovered in the Himalayan region of Nepal at an altitude of 4,500 meters. It was formally described in the peer-reviewed journal PLOS1. So which of the following statements are right? Okay, so we know that it is not discovered in Himalayan region of Nepal. It belongs to family Balsaminaceae. It was formally described in the peer review journal of PLOS1. So both 1 and 3 statements are right. Next, consider the following statements regarding Payment and Settlement System Act and Recent Taxation and Laws Act 2026. It was originally enacted in the year 2007. Next, the taxation and the other laws replaces the income tax ordinance of 2026. Yes, the amendment exempts foreign institutional investors from tax on capital gains from equity shares of listed companies only. So now it's not, no, it's not like that. Therefore, 1 and 2 are right. Next, again, moving forward, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft Program, recently seen in the news in the context of an Indian development partnership, is the best associated with which of the following? With which of the following is that it is being developed as a fifth generation stealth multi-role fighter aircraft. It is managed by the Aeronautical Development Agency and the Ministry of Defense. It is intended exclusively for the Indian Navy's carrier-based operation. Indian Air Force, isn't it? 1 and 2 are right. With reference to Reserve Bank of India's recent approval concerning LIC's stake in HDFC Bank, consider the following statements. RBI approval to acquire a higher stake automatically results in immediate increase in the stakeholders? No, automatically it doesn't happen. Any such acquisition remains the subject to Banking Regulations Act 1949 and SEBI regulations. Yes, LIC's stake in HDFC Bank prior to the approval stood below 5% of paid up capital. Yes. Next again, so we have one good mains question is that so railway multi-tracking and highway development under hybrid annuity model are central to India's infrastructure growth led strategy. Discuss the significance of such projects for regional connectivity and examine the challenges associated with the hybrid annuity model of project financing. The question asks about railway multi-tracking, highway development under hybrid annuity model, and their role in infrastructure-led growth, regional connectivity, and challenges of HAM financing. So, how should you approach this? Is that so better regional connectivity? So here we talk at better regional connectivity leads to reduced road reduced transport bottlenecks. It reduces transport bottlenecks, faster movement of goods and people, economic integration, employment and investment. So then again, you have to discuss about HM, hybridity model. You can explain that it attempts to balance the government as well as private participation. Then mention challenges like financial viability. Then talk about delays and talk about land acquisition issues. Talk about construction risk. So write about long-term funding pressures and finally, conclude with a balanced line. Infrastructure financing models must combine efficiency with accountability and long term physical sustainability. So, this gives your answer a mature conclusion. Okay, so future officers, what did we learn today? Current affairs is not about memorizing hundreds of headlines, it is about identifying the UPSC hook behind every development. So, for today's, the revision package is like a Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, Hybrid Annuity Model, PSS Act 2007, Balsaminesi, India Nepal Military Tradition, RBI approval versus land acquisition, actual acquisition, 6.8 percentage of GDP forecast, AMCA and ADA, Nikai A2 Kisan, World Mosquito Day. So, this is your revision package, and remember, consistency today becomes your rank tomorrow. Don't just watch the current affairs, decode them, revise them, connect them, and then conquer the examination. So, thank you so much. Keep decoding. Thank you.